at this point we have all the requirements and the libraries and modules installed that we need to render this particular project. Um, let's activate our virtual environment as usual. I guess at this point, most of us or all of us know the default command already. Let me open my terminal. Let's ignore this. So let me call it. So then this thing I'm using is just use the top button on your keyboard. The top button on your keyboard. So make sure you click on the terminal. Right, click inside the terminal and start clicking on the up button, top arrow on your keyboard. That will allow you to visit all the previous commands that you have used so that you don't type them again if you have used them recently. So basically that's what I'm doing. If you go down, you go back. So going up, then I'm looking for this one that I used, so I don't want to type it again. So I just activate. Now I'm in the virtual environment now. Okay, today we are going to look at something that's very important: keeping sensitive data. When you are working on an app, maybe you are in an industry, you are actually working on an app, there are some secret sensitive data that the app needs to work with. But then when you are sharing this data or you are pushing it to GitHub for other members of the team to do, this sensitive data should not be shared alongside. So this thing may include database password or database path when it comes to your system. So, or some secret key that you may use to verify or create tokens, or maybe the password algorithm that you use to hash your passwords, and some other stuff. So it needs to be a file that will be added here, that we are going to, we call it an environment variable file. So it's going to be containing all these constants that the app will be using. Because they are sensitive data, it will not be directly, you don't hard code them inside the app. If you hard code them inside the app and you share it, everybody will have access to those sensitive data on your GitHub, especially if it's a public GitHub. So what we do is that there is a particular file that most of these sensitive data are kept in. Let's see how to create that sensitive data. So you go to create a new file. So I'm going to create a new file here. So if you go up here, you see GitHub VS Code allow us to create such a file. So I just create a file. If you click on this one, it's a folder. So I'm creating a file. So keep that in mind. We are creating a file, and the name of the file is start with .env. Should be small letter. I'm using .env. .env. It's different from the my venv that we did, but this .env. Then press the enter key, and the file is open. Right. This is going to contain some of the sensitive data to be, and then this data will be, let's say they are going to be majorly constant values. So if they are constant values, in Python, if you are having something like constant, everything should be in capital letters, right? So some of the things that we said will be adding here as our sensitive data will be the database part, which will contain the password. So we make sure that everything here, that sensitive data is in a variable, and that variable is capital letter to just mean constant. Database URL, I'll add it soon. Another thing that we'll be adding here is our secret key. So secret key is something that we can use to generate a token for users, or when users are bringing their token, it's going to be compared, or we are going to use our secret key to verify that particular token. If so, this secret key will be used to create the tokens actually, basically. So another constant that we'll need is secret key. Sorry, secret key will be another one that will be adding. Aside the secret key, we are going to use an algorithm to hash our algorithm. So it depends on companies, right? When you go to company, sometimes the most basic thing is to adapt to what the company is following. So the environment variables and all that, they will help you, or they will tell you what they do. Another thing is token expiry time. So let's add this one. Is token expiry minutes. Yes, this one is just going to be a number. Let's say it's going to 15 minutes. Let's give 15 minutes to that. So let's fill in the others, right? So this particular file, you see it at the same place where you have my event, where you have the requirement.txt, where you have the .m file, right? There'll be a secret key that will be keeping here, and there'll be an algorithm that we'll be using here. The algorithm that we'll be using, one of them is HS256. That's one algorithm when it comes to Bcrypt, right? Yeah, we have downloaded Bcrypt to be hashing the password for us, and these passwords follow some algorithm that's already built, and one of them is this. So this is the algorithm that we'll be using. This algorithm need not to be hard coded inside the. I'm deciding not to put it inside the this thing so that people will not know the algorithm that I use, especially when it is coming to hashing my password, right? I just basically don't. I want to keep it in my .m file. These things will be used inside the app, but they won't be exposed when I'm sharing it physically. So this is a secret key, and then we have to work on the a database file, database part, the part of the database. So the database that we are using is PostgreSQL, right? So we PostgreSQL going into // Postgres, then the password that you have to your database, the password that you have, you put it here. So I'm going to add mine 1234, just a simple password based on the one that you, when you're downloading your pgadmin4 or your Postgre, the password that you use, that's what you put over here. And then at local host. So local host, because we are actually doing it on our machine currently, on my own machine. So it's local host. It's not live. It's not somewhere on the website, but it's on our own machine. So this database, this part is on our local machine. So, and then finally we are going to the name of the database, right? You need to give the name of the database after localhost / the name of the database. So we are doing expense tracker. So let me just call it finance finance. This thing is, let me push it backward a bit. Yeah, finance DB, finance DB. Let me just call it like that. Finance database, right? So yeah, so basically you have the database that we are using, Postgres, right? SQL, and this is actually the database name inside your app. I'll show that later on where this name is coming from. You can change it to another thing. I will show you how we can change this in the database itself. And then you have the password to your database. You have to add it, the local host, because currently we are running it on our own machine locally. And then / the name of the database is finance DB. So we'll go to the database and create this. Currently we don't need that. The next thing that we need to add here is a secret key. Okay, so we need to generate a secret key, right? And then where do we get this secret key? How do we get them? We can generate that locally using Python. So what we'll do is that I'm coming here to create another file. Creating another file. Let me call it's Python file. So it's secret.py file. So in this one, let's import secrets. Here's an import that we are using. We're using it to generate secrets, right? So I'll do how do you call it? A variable. I'll do a variable. My key is equal to secrets dot token byte. right? Not in bytes. I will need it in hexadecimal. I'll do mine in hexadecimal, and we put a number inside here. Now let me explain what's going on here. So we have imported this secret from Python, right? From Python. It's an inbuilt module in Python used to generate token secret keys. So this is a variable that is going to hold a key that will be generated. It is like generating random numbers. So if you are familiar with Python, you see that we have a module called random stuff, right? Random that was used to generate random numbers from one to whatever. But a secret key is also used to generate random stuff or something like random numbers by random keys. So anytime you run it, it's going to give you a new key every time. Every time you run it, it's going to give you a new key, just like how random numbers, the random module also work. So here we are trying to generate a token, hexadecimal token key from a secret module and keep that particular result inside the my key variable. But we need to specify a number here. Basically, I will tell you the length of the key. So whatever you put here, the length will be doubled. The length will be doubled for you. For example, if you put 1 inside, the length of the key will be 2. If you put 3 inside, the length of the key will be 6. Let's experience that. So I'll print my key into my terminal so that you and I can have a feel of what I mean. So I'm coming to my terminal. So I'm printing in my terminal. Here, we don't want to run the dicey, so just say Python. Run, the name of the file is secret.py, right? That's the name of the file that I want to run this file. It will run this thing for me. So say Python secret.py, and the name of the file .py should come. Then it will run it for me. See, it's right AC. Right, I'm going to click on top arrow to access the command that I just used right now and run it again. Now it's generating 77. Right, let me push this thing up. Do it again. It's there 95. Do it again. 08. Doing it again. D1. So it's just random. I use 1, so it's generating 2 every time. I'm going to clean it and then do 2. If I do 2 and I run this, it's giving me 4 different digits. 1, 2, 3, 4. The length is now 4, right? That's what it generates for you. So basically, I'm not going to use 2 or this one size. I'm going to use a size like 32. So 32 meaning that it's going to generate 64 length of a secret key for me. I do that, you see something like this, very long, hard to get, right? It's really my secret key. So I'm going to copy this, go to my .m file, and against the secret key, I will now paste this there. Yeah. So I have all the essential things that I need to do in my .m file. So this secret key, I don't want, when I'm sharing this, I don't want it to be used by people. I don't want to be seen by people. So it is a secret thing in my environment variable for me. So when I'm sharing this particular thing, when it goes public, people will know, people will see the entire code to entire app. Other developer will see, but they will not be able to see the path to my database, will not be able to see my secret key, they will not be able to see the algorithm that I use, and then they will not be able to see expiring time I use with every token that I'm going to generate alongside. Right? Yeah. Basically, that is generating the secret key for you. Can change it again. I can type another, run this thing again. I have other thing. You see that this is very different from what I got earlier. So I can copy this and go and change it. Go and change it. Yeah, so anytime you run the secret key, it's going to generate. So let me open the secret key for you again. This is how to simply do that. So we are calling the secret module we are generating a key and we are keeping it inside my key and we are printing that. When you print that, then that's what I'm copying and putting it inside the .m file. So another time I will show you, or I'll come and show you how to automate this. Things like this can be automated. Things like this can be automated, right? We work with files to make sure that um, when you run this particular distance, it will run it and automatically update it inside here for us. We don't have to copy and paste it. It will automatically generate for us. So Python is a very good programming language that you can use for scripting or automating stuff like this. So yeah, another time we'll talk about that. But currently we are not there. Let's focus on the rest or the remaining portion of the app. But right now, I believe that you understand what an environment variable is and then why it is very important for you. And when you meet it, when you are working in an industry, you not be shocked or not be asking what it is, but you understand how to go about it. So I've prepared my environment variable. So when I'm starting the app, I will not be using, will not, I will just be loading them inside the app. So we all know where they come from when we start using them. But before we close this, I'm going to create a new folder that will contain the actual apps. Right, I'm going to close everything. Then where the actual app will go, I'll create a folder and let's call this thing the app. Yes, so I will create new files inside them next time. And right now we know that this is actually where the actual app will go. So right now, so far we have our environment variable, we have the yes, our virtual environment, our environment variable, which have these contents about our database secret key and all that. Then we have our requirement file as well. Then we have this secret key. I'm going to keep it here. Basically, sometimes you may not keep it, but by the time you want to push it, maybe we'll delete it. We'll delete it when we want to send it, but then let's keep it for now for learning sake. And then see, maybe later on we can decide to change the secret key. So that's not being a problem. Let's keep it and move on with that. So next time we start working from the app level.